National College Football Roundup. Let's start with, oh boy, what happened in Stillwater? I mean, I wonder if anyone called the cops because Oklahoma State assaulted TCU. Final score, Cowboys 63, Horned Frogs 17, and it was not that close. It was a beatdown, Ted. And Oklahoma State's formula, it continues to be very effective. And if you haven't heard it from us before, you must not listen to the podcast very often because the OSU formula, run the rock with Jaylen Warren and play great defense. And that's exactly what Oklahoma State did on Saturday night. Just a dominant performance from the Cowboys defensively, shut down TCU's run game entirely, absolutely got after Chandler Morris in the pocket. They put some other kid in. I didn't even know who he was, and that's not like a slight at him. I was just like, man, they're down the depth chart. Yeah. But I'll say this, man, Spencer Sanders, these last 4 games, he's playing some efficient, winning football. He's taking care of the ball. He's making all the throws. He's not forcing anything. I mean, he's just been much better in the passing game. It seems like he's playing with a ton of confidence, and he continues to have a few big plays a game as a runner, whether it's called QB run or as a scrambler. Man, I watched that game last night, Ted, and there's no doubt that Oklahoma State's the best team in the Big 12. I mean, there's no doubt. They look great.
No doubt. And frankly, they're starting to make it look like it's not close. And, you know, what you say about Spencer Sanders there, I think is perfect. He's playing his most efficient football. But what they're able to do by playing good defense and sticking with the run game is they take the pressure off of the quarterback. You don't have to go win the game for us. You don't have to go out there, scramble around like a chicken with your head cut off, wait for an open guy, and wing it down the field for some huge play. You don't have to do that. Hand it off, throw the easy throw, the check down, use your athleticism from time to time. It's super simple. You don't have to go out and win the football game for us. Our defense is going to do that. We just have to be efficient, not turn it over, not put them in a bad spot. And it's like he finally figured out his role on the football team, right? And once he figured that out, he's played a whole heck of a lot better.
Yeah. And I'll say this, and they got a lot of confidence right now. I mean, you just watch them, especially defensively, right? They believe they're good. They are good, but they believe they're good. And it shows up like when you're playing with confidence like that. I always talk about how important confidence is on the football field. It's a confident group. Those black jerseys look good. Also, great job on the blackout. It was cool. All the Barry Sanders stuff was awesome. But I know all those things, like they factor into the game, I guess. But it was just, there was one team that physically dominated the other on that field in Stillwater, and they were wearing black. And it was impressive. And shout out to Dominic Richardson, the pride of Bishop McGuinness, finally getting some more carries. Now, I know the game was in hand, but racked up some yards, scored a couple touchdowns. That away, Dom, I see you.
What'd you think of the statue?
I don't love it.
I don't either.
Why didn't they get like him doing one of his shifty cool, like I get you put him in the Heisman pose. I understand that, but Barry Sanders did some things where it like defied the laws of physics with like his ankles and knees. I want one of those stances.
They should have him like laid way over doing one of his cut. I agree. And it's kind of weird with the helmet.
Dude, we are in the same wavelength with this statue.
Do you
show
ever
the man's
see
face.
Yeah. You usually don't see a statue like that with the helmet on, right?
Yeah, you can't see his face.
It could be anyone.
Show us your face. I want to see your face.
Yeah, it could be anyone in the statue. All right. But it was still cool that they did it and had it strapped to a flatbed truck on the way over there. Did you see that picture?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, you got to get it there somewhere, man. I mean, no judgment. I'm just going to assume that thing was secured well with those straps. I'm just assuming that. Like, it still had all the wrap on it.
It's
Hey,
great.
listen, all I know is they honored him, and then the football team destroyed the opponent. That's what happened.
That's how it's supposed to go.
Yeah. All right, Michigan-Penn State. Michigan goes to Penn State and wins 21-17 in what was a beautifully boring football game and a nice road win for Jim Harbaugh and the Wolverines, especially with Penn State seemingly pulling out all the stops in this one. I mean, fake punt, fake field goal. I think they went for it on fourth down like 6 times in this game. So Michigan's defense really, I think this game came down to them forcing Penn State to kick field goals in the red zone. And they got after Sean Clifford with Ajabo and Hutchinson. They hit him a ton. They sacked him like 7 times. He was running for his life a lot. And I thought with how much pressure Clifford was under, he actually played pretty well, used his legs to pick up some yards as a scrambler. But Michigan's offense, it's not going to wow you, man. It's just not. But they gave it to Hassan Haskins a bunch. He's a powerful dude, runs really hard, had some success in the running game. Cade McNamara was efficient, had some really nice red zone throws.
He had that one. It was like a skinny post that he crammed it in. That was a great throw.
He had 2 of those to Roman Wilson.
Big. He looked like an NFL quarterback throwing that ball. That was awesome.
Yeah, like anticipation throws, like big boy throws, and did enough, right? And when Michigan absolutely had to have it, right? McNamara gets blindsided, left tackle gets beat like a drum, sack, strip, fumble. Penn State turns that into a field goal to go ahead in that game, right? Had to put a drive together. They run Haskins a little bit, and then they find the big tight end Eric All to go ahead with the game-winning score, right? It was a huge play in that game. Michigan's defense was able to get a stop. So it wasn't pretty, Ted. It wasn't dominant, but it's a win on the road against Penn State. It's a nice win.
It's a nice win. The Big Ten's going to have some fireworks down the stretch, man. The next 2 weeks in the Big Ten are going to be awesome.
I'm with you. And speaking of that, Ohio State rolled Purdue. Well, we, in our last episode, we talked, hey, maybe could Ohio State or maybe Georgia, like, could something crazy happen to either of those teams? No. Ohio State bludgeoned Purdue with their offense. They scored 45 in the first half against Purdue, Ted. It's CJ Stroud. He looked fantastic, and I'm not so sure with that performance, all of a sudden, he's going to start getting some real Heisman buzz here soon. I bet it's this week for people.
The way this season ends for him, it's going to be high profile.
Yeah, so he's spreading the ball around. Travion Henderson still, guy's talented at the running back position, and I know Purdue scored some points, and a lot of Ohio State fans I saw on Twitter, they're complaining about the defense. I'm like, guys, the defense is fine if the offense plays that way. You'll be fine. Like, no one's going to outscore him. So it'll be interesting what Ohio State's next couple of weeks, right? 2 big games.
Yep. It's going to be big. And I hate to say this, but Purdue kind of brought this on themselves by playing so well early in the season and knocking off some top teams. Like, Ohio State wasn't going to be sleeping on Purdue coming into this week.
Yeah.
They've made that mistake before.
Yeah. Ohio State gets Michigan State in Columbus on Saturday, and then they finish up in Ann Arbor against Michigan. Hey, Tennessee almost scored 20 points on Georgia. It was close, right? Especially the way that game started. I was like, oh, I'm going to look like a genius. They're going to score 20. Got to 17, lost 41-17. So it wasn't a particularly close football game. But, man, Georgia just looks better than everyone else. And do you remember the Georgia law firm, right, with the running backs?
Oh yeah.
We may have to adjust the name, right? It may have to get adjusted to Cook, White, McIntosh, and Stetson, because Stetson Bennett has become a weapon with his legs for them. And he is what he is in the passing game. He's kind of a game manager. Now he will force the ball down the field, and guy's not afraid to take some risks, but that is a new element to the Georgia offense. Stetson Bennett's running ability. Did not see this coming.
I think we may be venturing into the Bennett and Associates type of law firm.
Wow. Man, you're gonna and Associates, Cook, White, and McIntosh,
right?
That's brutal.
Maybe it's McIntosh and Associates. There's just so many of them. However you want to do it. Well, at some point you get to such a list, don't you have to go Associates?
Well, Cook, White, McIntosh, and Stetson Stetson, but Cook, White, McIntosh, and Bennett actually sounds like a real law firm. Like that. You're like, oh yeah, I would totally let those guys represent me. But
they sound good.
But that defense, man. Whew. Tennessee black
17.
jerseys, pretty cool, but not a fan.
No, they look fine. I think black always looks good.
Yeah, it looks fine.
Black is, you can't mess up black. But their orange unis are so cool. They look so good. Like I always say, if you are a big time program and you're a traditional program and someone turns the TV over, they shouldn't have to look to see who's playing.
Right.
Like, they should know and recognize who you are instantly. And that could have been anyone.
Yeah, no, it's a good point, but yeah, Georgia's defense is still awesome. I'm shocked.
Hey, give hype credit. Scored more than anyone else scored on them all year by quite a margin.
Damn right. Way to go, Volunteers. Impressive stuff.